In the last video, I introduced the NOT gate, which just takes an input and flips it. So if you have an input A, your output Y will just be the opposite of your input. And I'm going to introduce three other types of logic gates that are very common that you'll need to know that we're going to use to build up combinational logic and things like adding, multiplying, and so on and so forth. So here is an AND gate. In an AND gate, output's a 1 if every input is a 1. If you have a single 0 at your input for any number of inputs, like if you had 10 inputs and you had 9 ones and 1 0, you're going to get a 0 at your output. So it only outputs a 1 if every input is a 1. We can draw its truth table pretty simply. And a truth table just shows the relation between the input and output of any circuit. In this case, it's just an AND gate. It's going to look like this. Just fill in all the inputs, corresponding outputs. This one's only going to have a 1 for the final condition. Okay. Next we have OR gates. They look like this. And those will output a 1 if any of the inputs are a 1. So if you had a 100 input gate, OR gate, and you had a single 1 and 99 zeros, it's going to output a 1. The only time it'll output a 0 is if every input's a 0. So its truth table, it's pretty easy. It's going to output a 0 in this condition, and it'll be a 1 for every other condition. And then lastly, there's XOR, which stands for exclusive OR, and it looks like this. It's the odd function. It outputs a 1 if there are an odd number of 1s at the input. So, sorry, that was actually a mistake. If there are an odd number of 1s at the input. If we have 2 1s at the input, well, that's an even number of 1s. So that's a 0 at the output, which is different from the OR in this condition. So it's going to have the same truth table as the OR function, except for the final condition. And if we had, say, a 3 input XOR gate, just imagine there's a third input here, and that was a 1. Now this would be a 1. Now this would be a 1 because there are 3 1s. So yeah, anytime there's an odd number of 1s, there will be 1 at the output. That's the difference. So the next videos I'll show how we can take these and build up adders and lots of other things.